I really hate this time of year. It's not going to the mall. It's not the family. It's working with him.
Happy birthday!
So yeah, I guess the other day he's driving and his little magic hat gets knocked off. Apparently he goes comatose or something. Crashes right into my 97 Mazda Miata.
Typity type, typity type. Look at that email goes.
You know, he didn't even show up for most of July and August. He got a doctor's note for heat allergies. God, it's freezing.
Oh! Don't make me stumpity stump you!
My ass. But I gotta tell you the truth. I finally found a way to get him off my ass for the day.
It's like a big happy parade.
Steal his ID badge.
Hey, let me in. I forgot my badge.
You gotta love Christmas in California.
It's kind of warm out here. It's a little warm.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles. They are the Danettes in Milford. Guys, as the end of the year rapidly approaches, it is impossible not to look back on the major players. Time Magazine has already done this, naming German Chancellor Angela Merkel as their Person of the Year. You guys are talking about Sportsman of the Year, but McLovin, let's go all-time, widen out the field here. Who is the all-time sportsman?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well,
we can do a whole show on this.
We did Sports Person of the Year today to distinguish it from SI Sportsman of the Year. The all-time, I mean, you're looking at Jackie Robinson.
Right.
You're looking at Jesse Owens. You're looking at Muhammad Ali. You may be looking at Babe Ruth. Maybe Michael Jordan. Now, Sports Century had Michael Jordan #1. I'm going to go Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, same.
Then again, though, you know what? If it wasn't Jackie Robinson, it would have been another black player.
Well, yeah, but it was him. Right. I mean, like his importance can't be understated.
But was it him, or was he the pawn in the middle of it? Now, if he sucked, it would have been a lot harder to get other black players in. He was awesome.
He was hugely influential, yeah.
Yeah,
But we're talking #1. Like, he didn't win the Sports Century. Jordan, I don't think he was.
Yeah, but didn't they have like Secretariat at like third for that?
They had like 40.
I assume.
Stop getting animals involved.
Did Dan? Well, it was a pretty good list. I mean, I think they had Ali, Ruth, Jackie Robinson, Jordan,
Owens.
Owens were all
Yeah,
right
those
up
are
there.
all. I mean, how do you?
They're
really
all
pick
incredible.
one, you know.
We should continue this. This is good.
Yeah, all
Andy
intriguing. Paula, you actually mentioned that Daily Fantasy Sports should be Sportsman of the Year, and Sean Gregory of Time was intrigued, but he said how sports figures usually fare on these lists.
This year, I think Serena would have been the one athlete who has the most societal impact. Curry, I mean, as far as like pure performance, and if you argue influence of people as, you know, just making you shake your head in front of a TV or say, don't do that, and then he makes a shot, and then you just kind of get up out of your seat. Nobody beats Steph Curry, especially right now. He did not make the cut, but next year's a big year for him. He's got maybe two-time MVP, back-to-back, two-time champion, and an Olympic gold medal. So if he keeps this up next year, we might be foolhardy not to put him on our list.
Well, I think the main thing with this discussion is impact. And impact could be a lot of different ways. The impact of Steph Curry. I watch a lot of Steph Curry. I spend my time in my life and tuning in and looking for Steph Curry games. I tried to find that game last night. I try to find the Golden State Warriors every night. It's not because of Klay Thompson, as good as he is, or Draymond Green. They're nice. So that's the impact. And then if you look at daily fantasy sports, they've changed the way we cover sports, the way, the advertising budgets, the way we talk about things. Those are the two most impactful, I think, this year, because they change the way we behave and the way we in sports do things.
All right, well, an impactful movie that's coming out is Concussion, and Sean Gregory talked to Dan about the impactful images that the audience will see.
Mike Webster in the beginning, he's gluing his teeth in, he's homeless, he's sleeping in his car, he's delusional. And they get you there at the beginning. And there's another with another Pittsburgh Steelers lineman, and he almost like kills his wife. He puts his hands around her neck and says the devil's telling him to do it. It's really kind of scary stuff. The scenes of the actual, fictionally depicted, but real player names, real players going through hell, a special kind of hell almost. That's what's going to, I think, stand out for viewers and for moms of football players.
This could be interesting because I don't know if this is, going to help the NFL or hurt the NFL necessarily, because, people are going to walk away from this saying, well, yeah, but it's just a movie. Like, it's not really like that. Or do people really believe movies that much that they're going to come away from this like it's a documentary and be like, can you believe that guy actually did all of this stuff?
Right.
But, no matter how much of it is sort of dramatized or not. So, I'm going to watch the movie. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to go see it in the movie theater over like that Christmas break there. Although I might, because I'm really curious to see how it all plays out and how Roger Goodell looks at all this.
That's what's fascinating to me, because it reminds me of the movie JFK. I think a lot of people take the movie JFK and like, well, that's what must have happened.
That's what happened.
Because I'm sure there's going to be lots of events in this movie, lots of scenes in this movie where Roger Goodell's in a private room talking to somebody. How do they know what the hell he said? That is a lot of license there to accuse a guy like Roger Goodell. I'm sure they're going to put words in his mouth. And I know he can't sue, because then he's going to look like sour grapes, or he's trying to hide something. But that, whatever people, casual, like if my mom goes to see it, she's like, well, that Roger Goodell, he's a bad guy, isn't he, Paulie? That's what I'm going to hear when she comes out of it.
Which is true.
No, it's Luke Wilson. He's a nice guy. Hey, Fritzy, you've mentioned before that you've had discussions with your son about concussions and not playing football. Will you watch a film like this with your son to illustrate that point?
Yeah, I think we will. He's been lately not as into trying to play football. We'll have a catch in the backyard, and we'll play. Some of his friends or relatives come over, we'll throw the ball around, which is a far cry from playing tackle football. But just last night, I went to his basketball game, and a kid on his team plays ice hockey, and he was leaving after the basketball game. His teammate was going to go to a hockey practice, and one of the teammates of his is going to be out for possibly several weeks because of a concussion, because now at age 13, I don't know how they decide on the age, but in ice hockey, at 13 years old, they decided that you're allowed to bang each other up into the boards and checking and all that, and the kid suffered a concussion. So football, for obvious reasons, gets a bad rap to a certain extent, but there's certainly other sports, and soccer with the use of the head, and obviously ice hockey and other sports where there's concussions happening. So thankfully he's kind of dropped the whole I want to play tackle football thing, but I definitely plan on seeing.
Why do you think he dropped it on his own?
I think he was never interested in playing football because of his passion for playing football, as much as he saw some of his friends doing it and thought that was the cool thing to do. Maybe he saw the cute little, cheerleaders on the sideline or whatever, and he thought that there was more of a social kind of thing, or maybe kids walking around with their, their football jackets or whatever, and that became some kind of status symbol. I think he got caught up in that more than actually some major desire to play football, not so much about fear of getting some kind of brain trauma.
Cheerleading also dangerous. I still can't straighten out my left arm. All right, coming up, how does one confront their boss? The Danettes will help us with that issue next. But first, you want to be a boss? Hey, hop into the cab of a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. This bad boy can climb a hill, haul a trailer, and fire that damn intern who chews with his mouth open. It's just gross. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. Welcome back to Box Score. Guys, lately a couple famous employees have been calling out their employers in some odd ways. Adrian Peterson went out to the press and said his coaching staff had been out-coached. See, now, if you went over and told DP that you were pumping another show, how would that go over with the boss?
Well, you got to know, it depends on what I would be actually like why would I go say that to him? You know what I mean? That's clearly picking a fight or something like that. I don't know that would really go over well. You could say that people did a good job, or that like, oh, I don't know, well, they're different than us, or like whatever. You have to find certain ways to sort of massage those messages.
And I think with us, the topic wouldn't be going to Dan, it'd be going around Dan. Because I think that's what we're talking about here. Because I feel always like Dan is our head coach. Well, and DirecTV is our employer. And those are two different things. Right. Even though Dan is our employer as well, I mean, we're here just as much there. But like if we had a problem with something and we didn't go to Dan first and we went to some high up person at DirecTV and aired all this stuff out, that would make Dan it wouldn't be the message, it wouldn't even be what we talked about, it would be going around him. You know, he always likes. But sometimes he sometimes he doesn't want to know some things. But if you're going to complain about something and it's a big one, I would go to Dan first. Almost always is.
And I think he wants to know because he wants to know that he's getting a call after that, and he doesn't want to be blindsided by anything. So whenever there's something going on, you give him the heads up first, and then go do whatever, and he can either help you navigate certain things, or he doesn't want to be blindsided by, like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? I just got a call from management about this or whatever. That's not the way you
And it's funny because it can be the smallest thing or the biggest thing. It doesn't matter. Like Seton said, it's the blindsiding of the boss. When I call Dan the boss, blindsiding of our coworker, Dan. And if he gets that, it doesn't even matter how big or little the topic was. It could be something really small. I've had it happen a few times where Dan got a call about something. He's like, hey, just let me know. I'm like, yep, you're right. I should have let you know. Sometimes, in my mind, I think I'm going to keep this away from Dan because he doesn't need to be bothered with it. But those days, it's better just to tell him.
All right, someone who did the end around was Eagles' DeMarco Murray. He complained to ownership about Chip Kelly's offense. McLovin, does Murray have a legitimate point?
No. There's no way. DeMarco Murray, if he thought he was going to do anything special with Chip Kelly, was out of his mind after last year. He had 400 carries with the Cowboys, and Chip Kelly was crazy to sign DeMarco Murray for $8 million. This is a train wreck that's been started forming in August. I'm going to say it. Chip Kelly does not know what he's doing as a GM yet. He made about 5 really bad signings.
And what's the best case scenario? So then it looks like you're going to like your parent if someone's picking on you at school, and then you tell the parent yells at the kid or at the kid's parents. If the owner goes to Chip Kelly and said, I want you to play him more, it's still going to reflect really bad on him. It's like, you couldn't talk to me, you ran to my boss.
Yeah, I kind of buy what Chip Kelly said. The two were sitting next together on the plane. I feel like maybe Murray went to him to complain is not fair.
No, well, I feel like this is one of those things. Like, you ever hear an athlete say, like, the media is terrible because they don't know what they're talking about and they make up stories out of nothing? I feel like this is what they're talking about. They're making a story out of nothing, and that's why when a guy like Des Bryant flips out and he's like, F all of you guys because you make stuff up and you make it all look bad. Well, there's probably a bunch of people in the Eagles organization being like, what the hell are they talking about?
Right, when I saw the headlines on the story, it said, DeMarco Murray has meeting with owner. It's like, oh, so he had something scheduled, he went to his office, or did he walk past on the plane? He goes, hey, how's it going? Oh, good. How you feeling? Oh, I'm down, man. I wish I had more input in the victory, man. I wish I could take control of this game. Cool. All right, man. Good talk. It could have been that. It could have been that for all we know.
Which is very interesting, as Dan said. Then, like, how does that?
Well, that's the question.
Who's the one that would?
It seemed like it might have been Murray's, because the only quote in the story was a source close to Murray.
Or it could have been a player who's connected to Jay Glazer, who's sitting one row back.
It could have been, but
or Ed Werder.
A lot of stories come out of agents. This felt like it had a little agent touch in it somewhere. A tinge of agent saying something. Get my guy the ball, maybe.
How about this, Paulie? What if twos went over your head and complained about you? What's your move there?
That would bother me. If he hadn't spoken to me directly about something that I did. I've had that happen before to me here and other places where people had a problem with something I did, and they talked to someone above me, and when then the person who came to me said, hey, I'm like, F that. I'm not even going to discuss this until that person comes up and talks to me. Just, be a man and go up and say, hey, I don't like this, or we got to talk about this. And if I'm a jerk to you at that point, or I don't listen to what you're saying at that point, I would say the same goes for everybody. We're all producers here. I would be bothered by that if they went end around. And so it's happened before, but not in a long time.
All right, going over a boss's head. What could go wrong? All right, stay with us. We're going to look back at yesteryear. It is glorious. Oh, welcome back to the box score, guys. It's winter. I mean, not here in LA, but you get the point. Anyway, with winter comes winter sports. We've got the NHL, NFL, NBA, and of course, Santa bar crawls. And with all these years, tradition and history has piled up. So let's have a little quiz, shall we? It is This Week in Sports History. It'll be row versus row, and there are no steals. Okay, here we go. Up first, the back row. This week in 1983 saw the last NFL game played at which stadium?
That's easy. Coliseum, right?
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Not RFK or anything like that.
Oh, no, RFK was much more recent than that. Wait. 83, unless it was
Orange
like...
Bowl?
Oh, wait. Baltimore?
What about Dolphins Orange Bowl, no?
No, Baltimore?
Not sure.
I would say the
Start
LA
with this is
Coliseum.
Okay, we're gonna go LA Coliseum.
LA Coliseum, that is incorrect.
That's totally incorrect. That makes no sense. That's when they moved to LA.
Yeah.
Shea Stadium
exact
is what we were looking for.
Ooh, Jets.
All right, front row this week in 1992 saw
LA
Jerry Rice
Coliseum?
become the all-time
Makes no
touchdown reception leader. He still ranks at the top of the list. Who are number 2 and number 3?
Currently number 2 and 3 on the all-time touchdown list.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Randy Moss? Oh, Chris Carter.
Want to go back to back?
Okay.
You think anybody else?
Where's T.O. and all that?
Moss Carter? Want to go Moss Carter?
Yeah, Moss.
We don't think we have it, but we're going to go Randy Moss, Chris Carter. No steals.
Oh, you were so close. It was Randy Moss and Terrell Owens, half a point.
Oh, that came up.
Dang, man.
We discussed that other one too. We're
Both of them
All
close.
right, back row. This week in 2013, whose Chicago Bear jersey was retired by the team?
What year?
2013.
This week in 2013.
See.
So it's only 2 years ago.
Urlacher was still there, or was he retired? What year did Urlacher call it? Hang it
A
up.
few years
This
ago.
is his second year out of the
Well,
league.
think about it. You've been getting him as a guest. So, okay.
Well, that could make sense as far as the.
Why would they do Dan Hampton so late? Was it some sort of posthumous thing?
I'm trying to think. Not Greg Latta.
Who's in that Urlacher?
Chris is going to say random names.
Julius Peppers.
Urlacher's probably a good guess.
No, he was still playing.
He was playing on the team.
Yeah. Let's go Julius Peppers.
Really?
No. He came to the Bears. That's definitely not him.
Like 20
Jesus, I have
games.
no idea. Let's go somebody who is estranged from the team. Jim McMahon.
Vince Evans. We're gonna say Jim McMahon.
I'll give you either one of those.
Or
It
Bob
is not.
Abreu.
We were looking for Mike Ditka, number 89. Mike Ditka.
Somebody in that
He wears
range.
Packer sweatshirts. now.
Mark Ditkus.
All right, front row.
takes so long
This week in 1987
Yeah, I knew it
saw
would be
the
somebody.
first NHL goalie credited with scoring a goal. Who scored?
What year?
1987.
Ron Hextall.
You're absolutely correct, sir. Ron Hextall.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right, back row. This week in 2012, Johnny Manziel won the Heisman Trophy. Who were the 2 runner-ups?
Ooh.
Oh, that's right in your wheelhouse.
Okay. Johnny Manziel. It's funny because I was just looking these up for our Week 13,
FanDuel.
Week 14 Fan DanDuel Challenge. And I looked up year-by-year finalists, and I Googled 2012 finalists, and for some reason it did not come up, which is unfortunate this time.
Wow.
But I'll
just
go with
looking at that.
Manti Te'o and Colin Klein. But
Oh,
those are
I'll give
good
it to you.
guesses.
I
Wow,
won't
those
let
are
you step
great
on
guesses.
it. Yeah, those are great guesses. Those are correct. So before
Wow. That's very impressive.
Can I ask you something? Were you hemming and hawing and you knew it the whole
no,
time?
I thought that was 13. I did find out. I did just look this up. It's the only reason I knew it because we were literally. Weren't we
yeah.
just talking about this
Yeah.
5 minutes ago? I actually said Colin Klein is in play aloud, and nobody reacted.
Manti Te'o and Colin.
I said Manti Te'o. I said you could take the Chargers defense. You guys remember this?
Those are
That's why we
Hextall
just-
and,
McGlove was just
and
researching
Te'o
this.
and
What a
Klein
perfect
back to back.
business.
Yeah.
All right. Front row this week in 1995 saw the first showdown between 2 brand new NBA expansion teams. Who were they?
95?
Yes, sir.
Hornets.
Hornets Heat.
Oh.
Because of Morning went to the Hornets.
Yeah.
Hornets Heat. But who else would it be? Hornets Heat?
Hornets Heat. We want you to go north. It's Vancouver Grizzlies and Toronto Raptors.
We were close, except for we had the 2 wrong teams.
All right, but
Except that,
congratulations to the
Well,
front row.
these days-
Country.
You know your history.
It's just a
Well, Sharif Abdur-Rahim.
Yes, all right.
Hornets Heat
Don't
first.
go away. A beloved DP cameraman gets a shout out, but first is the box score. And we are taking a break. Sing along with me. To remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. We are closing up shop here on the box score. Guys, it is the most wonderful time of the year. You guys have DP ornaments pouring into the man cave. People are very horribly creative or horribly just doing these things. But today, You got a magnificent
horrible.
ornament. They're just usually, well, you got Wild Bill ornament today, which I think surpasses them all. Paulie, does this crack the top 3 of the all-time ornaments?
I would love to put a list together because there's been some creative ones. There's a new guy, I don't recall his name, but he is going deep.
Gary Williamson or
Yeah,
something.
I actually know Gary on the Twitter. Gary is a very good commentator on the Twitter for the DP show.
I wouldn't say very good.
He could be snarky.
Didn't one make someone when someone's like in the box and you bench pressing? There was like some.
Yeah, this guy has a lot of time and a lot of creative ability in that order, and he's been doing some great work. And he should. I hope he doesn't ever get a job.
No, he should do a claymation movie like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Frost on the Dan Patrick show.
Gary, I know you're
Gary,
watching.
if you're watching,
That'd be awesome.
You.
Like an entire they don't make enough of those movies. I love that old.
Yeah, call
claymation.
it sick for the next year and do that.
Hey, McLovin, Wild Bill tells stories that sort of border on the line of insanity. Is he really the most interesting man in the world, or is he just a sort of a humdrum cameraman?
God. I don't know. Seaton's more the Wild Bill historian. Yeah, I don't totally understand. I don't know the answer to that question.
Interesting.
Is he the most insane man in the world? Is he?
Here's what I think
making
about.
it up.
Here's the thing: either his stories are all true, or none of them are true. If they're all true, he's got the best stories I've ever heard. It's not even close. It's like remember when Jay Peterson bought the whole lot from Kramer?
Yeah.
You would buy Wild Bill stories if I could.
But if he's making that stuff up, that's very disturbing to me. That he's going out of his way to come
I
up
think
with
anything
these
that's come out of your mouth
creative-
is far more disturbing than he's ever said.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he's crazy. I think that if something goes the wrong way and synapses start firing differently, and it's very close to going down a bad road. But no, he doesn't really have bodies buried in his front.
Well,
He doesn't seem dangerous, but when he comes into work every day, I am poised like this at my desk, like I am ready to roll if I have to.
like any good secret agent, you need to know the exits. Seaton, what is the best Wild Bill story you've ever heard?
Oh boy, that's tough to say.
It's like
because there's one for pretty much everything.
Name an old-time rock star he's got.
I don't know that I'm allowed to say them actually. I feel like those have to be cleared with him. But a lot of them go back to 60s era California.
Yes.
And I could just sort of leave it there. That something about boxcars across the country.
Yeah.
And I ended up in Berkeley.
There's always buzzwords like gypsy, product, fleeing is one of the fleeing.
But there's also the claims to rock history. It's like, yeah, when I introduced Glenn Fry to Don Henley in '68, he's like in there with those rock stars. He claims to know them all intimately.
But it's one thing to tell a story, but like when he's in the moment, all of a sudden he acts like he feels like there's something on him.
Oh yeah, he's always doing
in
this.
the room
yeah.
that we're in, you're trying to figure out what's happening to him at that moment. That we're right next
The
to.
best thing that could happen to him is getting stuck in the net or something like that. Or he has a very Kramer-like feel to him when he walks through a door. Somehow, like, he'll go through the door, but it only opened halfway, and he'll hit that and be like, what the hell just happened to me, man?
Right, like-
yeah, he's got that kind of going on all the time. That's just great.
Broccoli, the cameras here, they all have these cords, and they have to go around my desk, and there's like, I got a lunchbox there and some other stuff there. And every other cameraman goes around clearly with no trouble whatsoever. Every show, it gets, what the hell?
Yeah.
What is this lunchbox? And it's a guaranteed sure thing.
I totally.
The best way, you know what happens at the start of every show? The open will be playing, and you'll hear grabs his camera and starts shooting.
Like he just found out the show's at
Holy,
9:05.
this starts at 9:05? What the hell just happened here, man?
All right, now to a man who
Without
has
fail,
the
every day.
great
Every
stories
show.
about California and Marina Del Rey. Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're still trying to figure out. We may hear from Klay Thompson, but we can't really promote that until I get official word from the Golden
You kind of
State
just
Warriors.
promoted it.
Now this-
Maybe Klay Thompson.
All right.
Tony Dungy Friday.
No one's calling you liar, liar, pants on fire. Thank you, gentlemen. We are back tomorrow right here on Audience Channel 239. Yeah, we do it all the time. The podcast is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!